Hi, thanks for tuning in to the second video from Rio Reviews. I'm going to pass you straight over to Rio in a second for his review of the watch. But before we did that, I just wanted to let you know that there is going to be an opportunity that I'll explain more about right at the end of this video for you to win a WatchU. The lovely guys at WatchU have offered one model for one viewer. All we need to do is get up to 500 likes and a certain number of shares, which I'll go through at the end. And if we reach that, then one of those people who have liked and shared the video will have an opportunity to win the watch. So stay watching, and you'll get to find out more right at the end.
Hello everybody, my name is Ria and I'm going to introduce you by my WatchU. And this is really good because you can press 3 buttons or no, none. If you're not last, you don't press any buttons. If it's night time and you can't see, you press this light and it lights up. And I'm very excited about this watch because it can cool, it can light up, it can do emergency call. Can do anything, but it can't do any games because it's not a game watch. Because look, it's an electric watch and it's grey, so you can't see it. You can't play fighters or anything.
Yeah. And why don't you tell everybody about how it feels when you're wearing it?
It feels a bit uncomfortable because you have to wear it every day. And when I do that, I can't actually wear it, but it's really light. Like, you see how I can lift my watch up in the air? That's light. And I'm going to introduce you about this one, because this one is a very good one, because it gets you up to your steps. You have to wear it every day. What if somebody grabs you and they put you in a van or something? Do an emergency call, but if you're not, you just press a button 2 times, call Mummy or Daddy.
So can you show us how you call Mummy?
So you press that 2 times, and then that's Daddy, that's Mummy. So
why don't you give Mummy a call?
You press these buttons 2 times, and then you press that one, and then hold it down. Hello, Mummy.
Hello.
Hello.
You okay?
Yeah, we just did the thing for the WatchU. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Okay, hello everybody.
That's the big start for Mummy, but Mummy, bye.
Bye.
Bye. So that's how you call somebody, but I'm not calling Daddy because the phone's right there. I don't want to annoy the video. So that's today's video. So bye-bye, everybody.
Right, so now you've heard from Rio, I wanted you to have an opportunity to hear a parent's opinion of the watch, and for me to give you a bit of a walkthrough close-up of what the watch is capable of doing, some of its features. We'll give you some feedback on some of the issues we've encountered that have been passed over to the WatchU team as well, and perhaps show you a little bit of footage of us using the watch to call Rio and that kind of thing as well. So hopefully it will give you an opportunity to make a decision on whether or not the watch is right for you. Overall, we are really happy with the watch. There are some issues we think need developing, which I'll talk through in a moment, but hopefully this will help you make your own decision. So we open up the app and straight away it takes us to a map where it shows us where Rio is. right at the moment this is pretty darn accurate. So it's got a good picture of where we are. We can also then track, so we can go back and have a look at where has Rio been. So I'm going to give you an example of our holiday where, let's say, we arrived on the 7th of August and we left on the 21st. So let's give you a bit of a breakdown as to how it records this. Play. This will actually show us, really interesting actually, shows us the journey from my parents' house and then being taken to Birmingham Airport. We hang around there for a short while, or a long while like it felt, and the next thing you're going to see is a big jump, and it's actually the jump from the UK to Turkey. This is still playing out what we did and when, and you'll get a good idea of how well this watch tracked us while we were in Turkey. So if we fast forward this a bit, you can see it's tracked us all around. We hired a car for a couple of days, so we've actually got a good track of where we've been, which is nice as well for the parents to see where we've been. And then this goes further. Strangely enough, here we've got, there you go, got the second line, which has taken us back to England, and actually this time back to Leicester. So you can see the whole round trip, which is quite interesting. The next thing we can do is go to, if we just take it back to Rio's home screen, is change the settings on the watch. So here we can make decisions about what happens with the watch. So we can decide when we track, are we going to track automatically, so it changes the watch position every minute or every time you select it, or just manually, which is only when you just press the button to track the watch. I think most people are probably going to want to go for automatic. I think the only reason you'd ever go for manual is if you were concerned about data consumption, but this doesn't use a lot of data. We topped this up well over a month ago before we went on holiday, and only with £12 it cost, and we used it in Turkey, had it on virtually every day, and it's still got credit left now, so I really wouldn't worry about that. And the automatic mode at least means if you did lose your child, you can track where they've been and what position they've been in. So the next thing we can do is change the watch quiet times, so we can turn on and off which times of the day that watch isn't allowed to make any noise. So that could be during school time. You don't want it to be able to ring, just in case you accidentally dial them in your pocket or something like that, or over the night time as well, so you can leave it turned on. We can change the watch volume, so we can actually decide how high the volume will be when he's on the phone. You can change how high the volume will be when it actually rings as well. This is a nice test of how well it picks up data and how quickly. So you can see at the moment the time on the phone and the time on the watch are identical. So if we decide to change the time on the watch, let's say we want to put it forward to 6:44 and confirm, done. While I'm talking through the next bits, you'll probably see that change on the watch. So what else can we do? We can change the watch alarm. So in here we can go in, change what time the alarm's going to go off on the watch. So if I select one for today, do it for 6. There you go. The watch has just changed as well. So that took about a minute, if that, for the time to change on the watch. So it does catch up. So if we change this to be, we want an alarm to go off at 6:45 on the watch. Done. Hopefully that'll update in time. See what we'll do. If we set that to go 6:46. I set one for 6:45 a few seconds ago and it's worked. And then it's up to the child to just press the button on the side and it turns the alarm off. So we can change that even if they're staying at, you know, Nan's house or whatever it might be. So we've changed the alarm, the time, locate watch. So this is in case I've lost the watch and I just want to locate it in the house. Find now. I think that's to rub it in your face that you've been an idiot and lost the watch. So pretty annoying. Seems to be increasing in volume. Put my mic next to that so you can hear. And then we've got a second alarm that's just gone off as well. We'll turn that off. Okay, so we've located the watch. End monitoring call. So this is if somebody's forgot to stop monitoring the watch, you can force the watch to stop monitoring by sending a message to the watch. So just in case somebody's listened in but then they've forgotten to turn that off. And then finally you can do a reset of the watch there. Message center, we can see when we've had SOS alerts. So for example here, this is interesting. We've got an example of Rio exiting home, which is really interesting. Rio coming back into the home geo area that we set up for him, and at various different times. He hasn't been using it very much over the last couple of days. So we can set the list of people who are allowed to call him. I'm going to obviously have to block out those numbers, but there's a list of the people allowed to call him, and I'm set up as an administrator. And there's your geo zones as well. The reason it told me in that message where Rio's been is that I set up a diameter of how far he can be at home, or how far he can be from school before we get an alert during certain times, and it's clearly worked really well. So let's go back into here. We'll take this back to the home screen. And tell you what, let's take that to the end. So take this back to the home screen and it tells us where Rio is. If I check now, we're indoors. I'll move this so you can't actually see where he is. And I have a check. It is absolutely bang on. It tells us exactly where he is. Now, it's not always been the case. We've had a few issues where it's been saying he's in the completely wrong location. Haven't been able to figure out quite why, but it seems to be back up and running again now, and you can see it tracked us all around Turkey as well. So just to show you some of the call functions, if I want to ring Rio, I can just dial, call, couple of rings before it usually does anything. There you go. Alternatively, I can listen into the watch. It says listening, it must send some kind of signal to the watch to tell it not to answer or at least let the child know that you're answering. There you go, works straight away. Then you press call. So this time you'll notice the watch doesn't ring. That watch is answered now. And you can't tell on the watch that anything's happened. If I press anything, there you go. If I press it, it'll tell you that you're on a call. I can't end it. All I can do is listen in. So if I put that on speakerphone, put this here so you can hear. And if I'm talking there, you get a good idea that it's me talking into the watch. So if I move that away, I'm talking into the watch at the moment, and hopefully you can hear me through the phone. So it works. So it works quite well. Usually you don't get any notification at all. So if I hang up there, go back, and let's listen in again. Again, usually happens quite quickly. Press call. It's ringing now. And there you go, it's answered. So it is actually, if you know the child looks at their watch, they do actually find out that you're on the phone to them. And if I hang up, it has left that screen like that actually. So interestingly enough, it takes the child to press it to get back to normal. Okay, so if we go back into here, we can send messages. So allow it to record audio. I can say, hello Rio. You'll see that that's just answered. I'll put this microphone just here so you can hear. If I press the bottom button, it's downloading it.
Hello, Rio.
And hopefully that came through all right. But you can see it left a voice message. Now, we did find a technical glitch with this. If I send him a message, hello Rio, and comes through quite quickly, and that's coming through data, I've found that if the child doesn't press the right button, which is this one here, and I press that now, press the middle one instead, it actually closes down the message and we can't see it. So if I try and find that message again, press that bottom one twice, it's not actually finding the message for me. And what I found was Rio kept pressing the wrong button every time he turned his WatchU on, because that message came back up again. And it took us ages to actually get that message to play that had been sent a long time beforehand. So we'll try another one. Hello Rio, and we'll see if it sends us two. So it sent it through. And because it's just played the first one, it's bringing up the next one again. If I press the correct button, it'll download it.
Hello, Rio.
And play it again. So it takes another message to come through in order for that to work, which is quite frustrating. So yeah, Rio can send us a message as well. The other option is for him to do an emergency call. So if he holds down this middle button for 5 seconds, not even that I don't think, that will start to call. No, now he gets my voicemail.
If you could kindly leave me a message.
So he hangs up. So the next thing we can try, if we go up to the top here, we can actually press the top button twice, go to dad, go down to mum, hold that button down on the person you want to call, and that should now call his mum. I won't answer it. But we can abort the call. Now, if we go into the WatchU app, go up here, you'll see we've got a new message now. The new message is to say we've had an SOS alarm today at 6:55, so just when we made that call. Now the problem with this is that it doesn't come up. You'd want that app to send your phone crazy. If your child's pressed an SOS and he's done it to me, well, he can only do the SOS to me. For example, his mum would want the app to go crazy so that she can actually try and call him or call me to see what's happened, locate him, see where he is, see what's happening, listen into the watch, anything like that. So that's a little bit of a letdown that there is a message there, but you don't really get notified of it. So that's most of the functions of the watch. It is basic from a level. It doesn't do anything super fancy. There's no games. There's nothing to really make this watch stand out and look like it's anything other than an innocent watch. Yeah, okay, you can see a signal bar, but there's not much more than that. So it is a useful device for a parent. The child can use it and not feel like they're being monitored too much, but they can feel like they can get into contact with you whenever they want. Every other child who has seen him with it has loved it. I can imagine if you had another child with it and they both had one and they could call each other, that would make it even more fun. I'd be very interested to see that happen. So we'll have to look at seeing if we can get one for my niece, who they're practically brother and sister. They're only a month difference in age. So that would be really interesting to see how much fun they had doing that. So all I'm going to do now is pass you over to some footage of the watch in action. A little clip I've got for you here is of us trying to ring Rio while we were abroad in Turkey, but for some reason we weren't able to get hold of him. It was ringing and ringing, and we actually thought he was ignoring us, which can seem funny at the time, but if it was a case that you'd lost your child and you were trying to ring the child, it could be very, very deceiving that the phone, on your end of the phone, it's ringing constantly, and you think that the child, something's happened to them because they're not answering. Whereas actually the second time we called him back, we got a foreign dialing tone that time, and he answered the phone quite quickly, which proves it wasn't ringing on the first occasion. So for me, I feel that if there was an opportunity to put an unreachable message on the phone, at least then you wouldn't waste valuable time trying to call the child when actually the watch isn't ringing in the first place. My child. This child is not answering his WatchU. Let's try again. Now you've got a different dialing tone. Hello Rio. I'd like you to come back to the table, please. I'd like you to come back to the table, please. Quickly. It looks like he's ignoring us. Let's see if he actually decides to come back. No. So the WatchU works and you can reach your child even when they're in a play area. Unfortunately, the WatchU can't change who your child is and whether they're actually willing to listen to you. So Rio's On another occasion, you get a really good example of where, when the watch is working and it calls properly, just how much fun it can be as well, rather than just a really useful tool for safety. And we call Rio in the same play area to come over for his milkshake, and you just have to see the smile on his face because he got to answer his watch and then come over to get a treat as well. The chocolate milkshake's here. Will he come and get it? See how long he takes? Yeah, we could have got up, but we wanted to test the watch. Here he is. So the final little clip I've got for you of us using the watch at the moment is a little bit of a test of the location tracking. Rio and his mum had gone off. A little bit of a false scenario, but didn't tell me where they were going to go, and I wanted to check the app to see if I could find them. One thing you'll see from this is that I was able to, but it was really frustrating that the phone and the app on the phone wouldn't tell me where I am, so it makes it a lot harder to actually try and find the child you're looking for if you're also having to figure out what the roads are, because there isn't a marker on the map for who you are, only for the child. So I'll let you have a watch. I'm down here, just about here. The only downfall is the app isn't telling me where I am, unfortunately. It doesn't seem to want to tell me where I am. So I'll click location again. So at the moment I think if I turn this round, just so I can get a feel for where I need to be, I'm sat just there actually, just by here. So we'll go up here, see if we can find it. Constantly doing a check on the location, see if they've moved at all. We'll see if we can find them. So we're walking up here, away from the beach, as you can see on the map where they're supposed to be. Okay. Absolutely beautiful day. If this was just Rio that had disappeared, of course I'd be running, but he's with his mum, so I thought it was a good time to find out where they've gone. Trying to escape from me, going shopping more than likely. Just move out the way of this little bike. People think I'm quite strange walking around with this camera. Now I know at the end of here, there's somewhere off to the right, so pretty much you can see they're on the right hand side of the road. You can see that, so hopefully this will help me find them, see how accurate this is. Again, as I say, I'm just constantly refreshing the location manually just to make sure I've got the most recent one, but the only big downfall of this app is that it doesn't actually tell me exactly where I am. That would be pretty handy to be able to find them, but if we look over here, behind me is Rio and Mummy. Managed to find them. There we go. Hopefully you found that useful. As promised, it's now competition time. There's an opportunity to win a WatchU. All we need to do is reach 500 likes of this video, 100 subscribers, and for you to like and share the video. Once you've done that, leave a comment below in the comments section, and once we've reached those numbers, one of you will be selected at random to win a WatchU. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon.